everyone. Well, I'm back here. Today we're going to talk about Deontay Wilder. We're going to talk about the Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury match, the second one. So this is my follow-up to what happened there, okay? Now, there's been a lot going on, a lot happening in the last few days, okay? We're in the coronavirus, that's one. So things have slowed down, and actually things have all come to a stop. Um, so before we move forward, my name is Khan, and I love boxing, and today we're going to discuss Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, but most of it is on Deontay and what happened. All right. So in the last couple of days, Deontay has finally resurfaced, and recovering from a left arm surgery that he had. I believe it was a left arm. Um, so that explains a little bit where he has been. Also, during his interview, he discussed the need or the fact that he needs to remove some snakes from his training camp, whatever that means. But I can pretty much understand what he's trying to say. But let's figure that out. And he also, expresses the intent to speak with George Foreman, because George Foreman might be able to assist him and help him in his current situation. Now, what's also happening out there, Ruiz is calling out Anthony Joshua. He wants the trilogy match. I don't think it makes sense. Who wants to see that match? You understand? I think Ruiz needs to go back and reestablish himself before anybody wants to see to see that match. Now, Ruiz, it's your own damn fault. It's his own fault. He should have been more prepared for that second match. You have a chance of your lifetime, Ruiz. You need to reestablish. Okay, don't talk no trilogy match with Anthony Joshua. Okay, I don't want to see it, and I don't know how many other people want to see it, but I'm not one of them. No, the other thing that's happening is Joshua and Eddie Hearn has been talking about a possible Joshua versus Fury unification bout. Now, paying step-aside money to Deontay Wilder and Pulev. Okay, they're mandatories. Well, Deontay is the exercise his rematch clause, and Pulev is the mandatory for Joshua. So with all this coronavirus, there's a lot to think about. A lot of things can happen. So yeah, it's a great opportunity if they're thinking in that direction that they can actually get that done. Okay, so we'll wait up and we'll see what happens there. Well, like they say, there's always some good in bad. And actually, with this coronavirus and all what's going on, I think it's an excellent opportunity for Deontay to rethink what's going on. Okay, he needs to rethink his intention to exercise his rematch clause for the trilogy. He has that time to really think about it. Like he says, it's time to also think of what maybe you need to add to your training camp. It's also time for you to also think about, like you're saying, removing some people from your training camp. Okay? And most of all, I want him to take time to figure out and to understand that it will take more than just a training camp to beat the Tyson Fury. Okay? Regardless of what else excuses, legitimate or non-legitimate excuses, you need to rethink and to realize that it's going to take a lot more than that Deontay Wilder to beat the Tyson Fury. And I do expect Tyson Fury to pull out of the trilogy match. I think a smart Deontay Wilder should and must do that. Okay? And there are many reasons, but let's talk about some of it. You see, Deontay just can't come back into the fight with Fury with the same chances to win. You just cannot come back into a Fury fight, a perfect, well-trained, no distraction Deontay Wilder, or the best Deontay Wilder, cannot win the trilogy match with the same chances. You cannot go into the third match with the same chances, which simply is connecting with your right hand. It has to be more than that, Deontay. Deontay cannot come into the rematch with that trilogy match with the same chances. Let's admit, no matter what Deontay says, and no matter if all excuses have substance and is true, the fact is Tyson Fury systematically beat down Deontay Wilder that night. Whether it's the best Deontay Wilder or whatever Deontay Wilder showed up that night, he was systematically beaten down. Okay, on that night, Deontay Wilder was beaten down with pressure. He was beaten down by an aggressive Tyson Fury. He was beaten down by a great jab. He was beaten down by a great body attack. He was beaten down by a strong and fast 1-2. He was beaten down by a Tyson Fury who fought inside with every clinch and every chance he had, and a Fury using his big size advantage every time they clinched to lean that weight on him. So on that night, that's what happened. Okay, it did not take long. When I look back at the fights of where Deontay went longer, I'm not talking about the Bernard Stavern fight. I'm not talking about that. But any fight he went over 6-7 rounds. If those people had the size on him like a Tyson Fury had, they would have won the fights too. Because it comes to a point where if you are big enough, Deontay will always be beaten down with that pressure if you were big enough. Most of these times that he was winning but under a little stress, it was from anyone who took him a little bit longer. Tyson Fury was able to defeat him because he was bigger and he was able to put more pressure and had what it takes to take the advantage of a fight like that. Now, and Deontay Wilder coming into a third fight, nothing's going to change. Those same 7 points I just named, how he was beaten down, he will be beaten down again. Deontay said that he does not consider, I think it was this week, he said he does not consider Tyson Fury the real champion because they have to wait until the trilogy match. Somebody needs to hit that dude in the head and tell him, just tell him, wake up. Wake up. You do not get to decide who is champion. Yes, you did decide who was champion when you were in the ring, but you don't get to say who was a champion. Because you went in the ring and somebody said they are the champion by beating you. Okay? So somebody need to wake him up and say, the fact is, you lost the rematch with Tyson Fury and he is the champion. There was no lucky punch and no controversies there. So, Deontay, the faster you accept the fact, you'll be better. In fact, you fought 19 rounds, you won 2, lost 17, and still the man is not a champion. Champions are determined most of the times in the ring and the outcome of a fight. I believe that was done. Now, what you don't know, Mr. Deontay, is that if you're a champion and you lose, you are still a champion. But the other guy is now the champion. But there are responsibilities that comes with that. You, as the champion who was defeated, still needs to act and carry himself as a champion. Okay? So maybe somebody needs to teach you that. You see, there was a big difference. The difference I want to bring out is a trilogy match. There was a big difference between a Mike Tyson fighting and a Deontay Wilder. Mike Tyson, we knew that not only could he knock you out, but he can beat you up and win on points. He can really beat you up and win on points. He didn't necessarily have to knock you out. Where I strongly believe in today's heavyweight, the heavyweight kings that we have, the heavyweights, the new heavyweight, which is 5'6", 5'5", 6'5", 6'4", 6'7", 6'8", 6'9", and they're all moving. I do not believe in this era Deontay Wilder can win all his fights on points. But I guarantee you, many of us believed in the Tyson era that Tyson could have won on points too. So we knew Tyson was always going to win. It was just a matter of how and when, because he had both chances on his side, whether he was going to win on points or he was going to knock them out. Deontay doesn't have that choice. He can overrun the small guys, just like Vladimir Klitschko did in his 10 years of reigning as a champion. Okay, today Klitschko will have no chance in that ring because everybody is bigger than him. Okay, now let's be clear, Deontay. Your chances of winning cannot be whether you land the right hand or not. It cannot be. It cannot be in the trilogy match. We have the same predictions. The same prediction is 1, Deontay lands the right hands, he wins. Fight goes the distance, Tyson Fury wins. That's what we went with the first and the second fight. People didn't know very much about a Tyson Fury, but Tyson Fury steps his game up according to who he's going to fight. Okay? Depending on how good the fight is, that's how he brings his game. And even in the first fight, it was still the same prediction. Deontay lands, Deontay wins. Tyson Fury takes it to the distance. Chances are he's going to win. But today now, we know that a Deontay can be beaten down with pressure. And that's what Tyson Fury will bring. He will bring it again. So it's easy for me to predict. Even if the best Deontay Wilder shows up in the trilogy, that Fury will win by a ninth round knockout. And why I say the ninth round? I will give you a little bit better training, that you would do a little better training, and you would listen to some people, and you'll come in a little bit better, more prepared for the fight, because now you know you're in a fight. And I see you losing. I see Fury stopping you in the ninth round. Now remember, you mentioned. It was mentioned that Deontay will be speaking to George Foreman. And let me tell you this, George Foreman cannot help you. Okay? It took George Foreman years to come back from a defeat. How can you learn in a matter of months what it took George Foreman 10 plus years to learn? Now, you might say I'm smarter than him, so I can learn faster than it took him to learn. But what he learned was very simple. You understand? Now, Deontay, it really sounds in my whole commentary here that I'm trying to beat you down. No, that's it. That's wrong. I'm not doing that. Okay? Listen just for a moment. You want to win the trilogy match? Then do what it took George Foreman 10 plus years to learn. You do it. It's all in your head. You do it, and you can win. You don't even need to talk to George Foreman. Here's your secret. Here's what George Foreman is going to tell you. He's going to tell you, accept the loss. He's going to say, Deontay, accept the loss. Yes, it took Big George 10 plus years to come back and say these things. This is what George Foreman came back after 10 years plus, and this is what he was saying now to every interview he had, reporters, or every time they would get all the heavyweights together, and some get together. Here's what he say: that Ali guy, he can fight. Acceptance. That Ali guy, I don't believe he can punch. But now I know he can punch. Acceptance. Oh, that Ali guy doesn't only have a big mouth, but he can back it up. Acceptance. He's accepting it. That Ali guy got into my head, and I wanted to destroy him, not knowing that he also had a plan to destroy me. Acceptance. You must accept it. By bashing you, Deontay, this is not a bash session. This is actually to help you. You understand? Because there's nothing else that George Foreman can tell you. You understand? And it goes back to my first video. In my last video, I said things and that I thought happened to you in the fight and that night. And I also said it was time for you to come out of hiding. and to be a champion. I wanted to remind you that you will always be a champion with or without the belt, because you have earned that title. I remind you that most of all, that every great champion will find his match. And the best thing to do when you find a real match is to accept it. If you want to move forward, you must accept it. I reminded you to accept Tyson Fury is your match. And it's time for you to accept that fact and milk it. Milk it. Make it work for you. Okay? Deontay, in my opinion, you should let the trilogy match cook over for a year. Let it cook. Okay? What you have to learn is not going to take you, it's going to take you more than a training camp. Okay? You're 35, you can still learn. Don't listen to those folks that say you can't. Yes, you can. Okay? The thing is, what you learn, you must be able to implement it. So even if the fight gets tough, you don't go back to your old ways. You must be like Tyson Fury. He stuck to his plan. Okay? You do not need better boxing skills. You don't need to learn boxing. Okay? What you have to learn is how to set up the right hand. Okay? Simply learn how to set up the right hand. You got a left hook. You need a little bit of balance. Okay? But you need to learn to set it up. Bring that right hand to play in many different more occasions. You have to throw it more often. Okay? You got to make the chances or the percentage of success higher. Okay? You cannot just say it's there and you have a guy who can jab and who can move. Okay, and you're throwing, five per round. So you have to mix it up. You have to learn how to hide that right hand and don't telegraph it. Okay, you learn to set it up. You must also keep all distractions away from your camp, including your family. Okay, you all know, can't go to training camp and don't take it serious. Okay. You need to train like a traditional boxer. You have to do things because you've learned now that you can get beat down, or if you don't do the right training, it can take a toll on you. Okay? So you're going to have to get down to old school boxing training. Okay? Whatever exercise it takes, you're going to have to do those things. Do what it takes for your legs. Your legs got beaten down in the last fight by him beating up your head. He beat up your head, your legs went. It's simple. Okay? Nobody can say that Deontay wasn't strong. Deontay was very, very strong. A lot of respect in that fight. So you got the respect. Now, you have to do what it takes. Okay, most of all, accept the loss. All right? When you go into that training camp, accept the loss. You know what's going to make you, and accept that, when you meet this guy again, it's going to be a fight. And you're going to see that you're going to enjoy it a lot more. You're going to enjoy the training. You're going to enjoy preparing. You're going to enjoy every interview. You're going to have the respect to know that there is going to be a fight. In fact, when you step in the ring, you're going to be ready for a fight. And there's no more surprises. There's no more. You expect a good fight. You might even smile a lot and enjoy the fight. And you are going to enjoy the outcome. And it doesn't matter what the outcome is, but you're going to enjoy and you're going to be great at it. Okay? And just, so again, simply accept that when you're going to step in the ring with that Tyson guy, it's going to be a fight. Okay? Now, I would love to see you come in there better prepared. And, I just don't want to see a right hand. I just don't want to see you trying to throw or just trying to land the right hand. I know you're a better boxer than that. You got to have more than that to your game than just throwing that right hand. Guys, you got every boxer out there. Simply, you got to accept one day everyone finds a match. You're always gonna sooner or later. So accept it, but you got to know how to benefit from it. Okay, boxers put a lot into this sport for years, and you got to learn how to milk it. Okay, I see doing those things, just a simple acceptance. Okay. Is the only way you can increase your chances. The only way Deontay can increase his chances of winning that fight. Okay? Deontay needs to be a champion. Do what it takes to be a champion. And I know Tyson Fury will be ready. Okay? Tyson Fury will be ready because he has to prove it was not luck. We know it's not luck, but he's gonna prove it. And all the excuses that Deontay came up with or claimed was the reason why Tyson won. He's gonna try to erase that. He's gonna try to he's gonna try actually to cement it that he defeated the most dangerous man on the planet 3 times. Okay? So Deontay, you know Tyson's gonna be ready. He's not gonna sell this out. If you go into acceptance and then you get into acceptance, then you'll be 10 plus years ahead of George Foreman, and you're going to be ready for a fight. All right, well, that's it for me. I want to see some comments below. Let me let me know what you're all thinking. All right, subscribe to my channel. I got a lot more good stuff coming. All right, I might be a little bit controversial. It may seem sometimes like I'm beating down a fighter, but my job here is not to beat down no fighter. My job is to bring the fighters to read between the lines, and if it makes sense, take from it what will benefit you. All right. Thank you all for watching. Watch for my other video. Watch for my my follow up on this. All right. Thank you all.